In the golden age of ancient Persia, beneath the veils of sand and starlight, one woman changed the fate of a kingdom with nothing but her voice. Her name was Shahrazad, and she was sentenced to die at sunrise. But when the morning came, she was still alive. This is her story. Once, in the vast realm of Persia, there ruled a mighty king named Shahryar. He was noble, powerful, and deeply in love with his queen. But that love was shattered. One day he discovered her betrayal, an affair with a servant. The king's heart, once warm, turned cold. His trust in women vanished, replaced by a dark vow. Every night he would marry a new bride, and every morning he would have her executed. No love, no attachments, only revenge, repeated endlessly. The kingdom fell into silence. Fear gripped every home. Families wept for daughters lost to the king's cruelty. No one could stop him. No one dared, except one woman. Shahrazad, the daughter of the royal vizier, was no ordinary girl. She was wise, learned in philosophy, poetry, history, and the mysteries of the human soul. But more than anything else, she understood stories. She knew the power they held, how they could heal, enchant, and even save lives. One day, she made a shocking decision. She would volunteer to marry the king. Her father, horrified, begged her not to. "You will not survive the night," he said. But Shahrazad was calm. "Perhaps," she replied, "but I must try. Someone must end this." And so she became Queen Shahrazad, walking into the lion's den armed with nothing but her words. That night, in the silence of the royal chamber, Shahryar waited for sleep to take him. But before he closed his eyes, Shahrazad spoke. "My king," she said gently, "may I tell you a story?" The king raised an eyebrow. Curious, intrigued. "Very well," he said, and Shahryar listened, enraptured. But just as the story reached its most thrilling moment, Shahrazad stopped. "What happens next?" the king demanded. She smiled. "I'll tell you tomorrow night, my king, if I'm still alive." And with that, a miracle occurred. For the first time in years, Shahryar spared his bride's life. The next night came, and the next chapter followed. Then another tale, then another. Each night, Shahrazad spun worlds of wonder. A fisherman who found a genie in a bottle, a merchant who faced death and was saved by a talking beast, a sailor named Sinbad who braved monsters and oceans, and always, she ended each story just before the climax. The king had no choice but to let her live, again and again. But something strange began to happen. As the nights passed, 10, 20, 100, the king began to change. The coldness in his eyes melted. He began to feel again, to trust, to hope. For the first time since his betrayal, he saw a woman not as an enemy, but as a companion, a mind equal to his, a soul that dared to face death for the sake of others. And Shahrazad was not just entertaining the king. Her stories carried hidden truths about justice, forgiveness, loyalty, and mercy. She was teaching him slowly, gently, night by night. 1001 nights passed, and on the last night, she told no story. She simply looked into the king's eyes. By then, he needed no tale to hold him back from bloodshed. He had already fallen in love, not just with her voice, but with her spirit. He had become human again. He wept. "I have wronged you," he said, "and I have wronged countless others." But Shahrazad took his hand and whispered, "Then let this be the end of sorrow and the beginning of wisdom." From that day forward, the executions ceased. The kingdom began to heal. Shahrazad became not only queen, but legend, the woman who conquered death, not with weapons or armies, but with imagination. Her stories were eventually written down, passed through generations across lands and languages. We know them today as the 1001 Nights, Alf Layla wa Layla, and her legacy lives on, not just in books, but in every storyteller who believes that words can change the world. So the next time you hear a story that moves you, remember, it may have saved a life once, perhaps more than one, and it all began with a woman, a voice in the dark, and a king who listened.